Well, my dad used to have a butcher's shop on Walloon Road, and years ago you could go out on your bike on your own and go around exploring, and I was only about 8, and I come onto the property on my bike, and I thought I saw like a tunnel going under, and the man who worked on the groundsman worked on the estate. He chased me off. So I never really got to know the tunnel, and years later I thought, am I imagining this or not? Because sometimes childhood memories can be very vivid, and years later when I came to work here, I often wondered if there was a bunker, but I didn't really ask in case I'd not remembered the right things, and I think it was covered up at the time with moss when I came to work here, so I've never seen the bunker.
I'll show you on the way out. When we come out, remind me, and we'll go over to there and I'll show you it. So and so you didn't go inside the shelter. What sort of years did you work for Linkage here then?
God, I can't remember now.
I mean, I've got it from what you said, around about 1999 to 2014, round about there.
That's right. And I first went into the houses to work, and then they specialised eventually in the houses at the time. If staff was willing to work, students of autism or ADHD, they specialised in them houses because they felt that right for the students' needs. And then I was a deputy, then I turned to deputy manager, and there was 4 of us. We moved to the main building. I think there was 12 students at the time, so we needed quite a few staff, the support staff, deputy managers and registered managers, so it was well managed.
Right. Yes. And what was your first impressions of the estate and the hall when you first came into work here?
Scary, because it was so big. And I was like, oh my God, working nights here on my own with another person, it's going to be really eerie but interesting. And it was a bit daunting at first, but once I got used to the building and my way round, because it took a while, it was pleasant because you got all the grounds around you. Yeah.
And what was your role within Linkage? Was it actually teaching, or was it on the house care side of things? Or
it was both. When I was a support worker, it was called independence tutors, and it was classroom based and house parent based.
Right.
And then when I moved to the management side, there was a lot of paperwork and the management side of things, so we tended to come out the teaching side and work onto the appointments and supporting staff with students. So I'd come out with if it was needed, we went into when the Mackenzie building was built. Under Don Mackenzie's name, the psychologist. We used to go support there as well. There was a number of mixture of roles that we did. It was hands-on with everything. So, and sometimes the paperwork was done on a night time if I did waking nights. So
if we walk round the back of the hall now, I'd be interested to know what your thoughts are about this building here. So what did you know this building? This is what's the Linkage call the Oasis, so it's located at the back of the hall.
This, I believe, used to have a lot of the staff's pigeonholes where we used to get paperwork. We had photocopiers in, so we used to go in, do a photocopying. It was like office based. Sometimes the students who was doing retail, they'd come in and help. It was on that type of course and help with the photocopying and a bit of filing because someone was interested on the retail side. So they'd come in and support staff on that side of things here. So it was mostly staff, but students was always involved.
So that was before the Mackenzie building was built then?
Yes.
So you use this like an office with then?
Yes.
Right.
And at the back, jumping the gun, was the finance building. But
right. Would that be the gate lodge at the entrance, do you think?
No, they had them buildings that had stood on temporary buildings.
Oh yeah.
And you used to go and get your finances from the accountant there and sign your chitties before the Mackenzie building was built. So everything was based. I was here before the Mackenzie and during the Mackenzie, but everything was based office-wise round this way.
So what was built before the Mackenzie suite then? What was there?
Obviously it was Bellamy's cottage.
Yes.
I was there for years. I think it was spare land, but I'm not sure.
Right.
I really don't know.
No, that's fine.
Yeah. But it was built because of Dom's, like, under Dom's. Did it because he did such an input with the students.
Yes. So we're now entering the hall through the rear entrance. And then we're coming into the kitchen area. So, have you ever seen this wallpaper before?
No.
At all?
Not that I can remember. Probably didn't look.
No.
I was that busy, but no.
And can you remember if this wall was here? Because this is a false wall.
I think it was. Mind you, it looks a lot smaller, the kitchen now, to what it was. Remember, it's 10 years ago.
Yes, but you've got another kitchen. It's difficult to see because it's a furniture store. But
this was the laundry room.
So we're now in the rear kitchen. So you say this was used as a laundry room then?
This was the laundry room for 12 students that used to bring the washing down on alternative days with prompts.
Yes, yes.
So they all had their own wash baskets upstairs, and there was 2 washing machines, 2 dryers, and that was allocated their washroom.
Right.
We tried not to do it for them. The more capable students would just, it's your washing, you're here to do your washing. Sometimes it piled up. And we helped the other students that wasn't able, to do that. So we'd do it. They'd help us, but we'd do it with them. Yeah.
If we go back out and turn left, then that's kind of like a modern kitchen area at the moment. So, what can you remember about this room?
I don't think it's changed a lot. I'm sure there was another cooker there. We had this cooker.
So this is used to prepare meals in this space then?
Yes. The service users, when I was here, was quite independent, so they had a budget to get their own shopping.
Right.
Go out and get their own shopping. They had their own cupboards with the names on, and we'd only allow 2 in the kitchen at a time for health and safety reasons, but it was manageable. It was done because I was out doing stuff that much and coming out like a hostel. They're coming at different times anyway. It's their choice. So with the students that was very capable, we just used to pop in and out just to check things was okay, but the other guys would support. On a Sunday, staff did Sunday dinner, so it was all together, so you weren't isolated. It was like a family unit.
Oh, yes.
So we all had Sunday dinner together, and they did the pots and washed up with prompts.
It's just that sort of size room.
Yeah.
It's not open.
Is it open this side?
No.
That was the medication room, and it was all locked up in lockers, and they each had their own tub, and then was promoted to have the medication in here, but they could have the choice to have it upstairs or wherever they wanted it. But it was dominantly here because it was locked up safe, and it was also the deputy's office as well. It was very tiny though. No, it wasn't the deputy's office. There was 2. That was a deputy's office. They did the computer work in there. We also had another one up there.
Okay. Now they do say that there is possible apparition on here.
Yes.
Have you? Because you mentioned about footsteps, hearing footsteps and things.
Right. Can we just start this one here?
Yeah. So this we have as the pan store.
No, that's a storage. It's this.
Can I just ask with this one, you know, because what we're curious about is there's like, we're now in the pan store, the servants' corridor. There's a mesh there, but that window, which you would think would be outside, actually leads into that room. You can't see it from the other room.
Right.
So do you know what did you use this room for? Is it just a store, or?
I think it's mostly paperwork.
Right. Okay.
Files and things like that.
Yeah.
Pretty sure it was. And this here, I don't want to jump the gun actually. This was the medication room.
Right.
Okay. So we had all the this is where I felt activity.
I see. So we're now in the first aid room.
Yeah. Don't know why. Never saw it. Just felt. So all your medication, filing cabinets was there, and then we had computer there, more filing cabinets, and the service students would come in and have the medication. If they needed anything, they'd pop in and see us here. It was a bit more private.
Yes.
As well, whereas the other office, it was more to and fro in, so they needed to have a little chat in private. This was the area where they chose to do it, or unless they chose to go in the bedroom. So yeah.
We don't know what this area was originally during Slight's living here. We don't know. You might recognise that behind the door because you mentioned that.
The jukebox.
Yes.
Come here, Steve.
Oh,
Many a dancing. That was in the lounge area at the time because there was a pool table, we'll show you, and that was the hub of interacting and putting music on.
Wow, that's all.
In this room then, we've got, so now we're going in what we think might have been George Slight's office, but we're not sure. The brackets on the floor were because they've repaired the roof and they put new downspouts down, so these are going to go back, but at the minute they're just stored here. But what would you use this room for then, Alison? I
Can't remember if this was a bedroom, I doubt it, or some sort of social room. I'm not sure on this one. It was definitely in use.
Yeah. Somebody seems to think there was a mezzanine floor in here at one point, so it could well have been a bedroom.
It could have been a bedroom, it could have been a social room, I'm not sure.
No. Okay, we'll look at the next one. So this is a small room off the service corridor, and it's next to the snooker room. So did you use, there is a fireplace behind there, did you use this for anything?
It's probably a storage room. I'm pretty sure it's a storage room, it couldn't be used for anything else.
Yeah, that's fine then. I'm going to go through that door on the right, Steve, through here.
Aha! This is where the memories was.
So we're now in the billiard room. This is done by the students, and the students have history sessions and they learn about the Slights and things and do a lot of research.
This is the bit where I was confused about when I spoke to you last day, where the prisoners of war was, but I can speak to that when you're ready.
Yeah.
Jump the gun.
There were two Willesby Halls, that's the confusing part.
Yeah.
So this is Willesby Hall, built 1890. There's one built, I think, late 1700s, early 1800s, and that was known as Willesby House. But then when this got built, they changed it to Willesby Old Hall, all round about that time. So that was owned by the Grant Thorrells, who gave us the park in the town. And then they sold it to Hewitts, the Brewers family. And then from there then, up until 1943, I think it was, when we had the butterfly bomb raid, that's when bombs were dropped on it and it burnt it all out. Right. So it was a shell, so we never could save it. It was used as a hospital at that time.
I thought it was.
So next door to that, where you go into Willesby Woods...
the hospitals here?
There's some confusion whether this was a hospital as well, used as a hospital in the war, but I'm not sure. But that one definitely used as a hospital. Now that was a hospital, but also I think First World War is used for military officers to recover. So that was the old hall. But then when you go into Willesby Woods now and you've got the big circle area in front where the cars park, that was the prisoner of war camp.
Yeah, because my mum as a child used to take them some sort of gifts, I don't know if it was cigarettes or anything, and they used to make dolls.
Yes.
To give to the children that went and visited them.
Well, from what I understand, it was predominantly in Italians there. There was one or two Germans and others. And then after the war, of course, halfway through the war, they changed sides. Yeah. So it's still used as a prisoner of war camp, I understand, but I think they were free to wander around they wanted.
Was that more near Bellamy's Cottage end then?
No, that's Willesby Woods itself, where the two lions are.
Yeah.
Right.
As you drive past the lions, the gatehouse was on the left-hand side, and that was the entrance to the camp. As you drive through the lions and you went right, where there's now a gate to a private house, that was the driveway in, and it came further out Willesby Road here, you see. So that was to Willesby Old Hall. So where the stables are now, when you look at it on Willesby Road, immediately to the right was the hall. And then it became, the prisoner of war camp then became a Polish resettlement camp, because the Poles were on our side.
Yeah, because a lot of the local women met and married the Polish is it prisoners?
Yeah. Well, there were...
And a lot of marriages.
More of a holding.
Yeah, what they'd done is that after the war finished, they said to the Polish people, do you want to go back to Poland? But of course, it's communist rule. So then they decided they didn't want to do that. So those that didn't stayed here, and they taught them English and things like that, you see.
Right.
So in here then, in the billiard room, this was Slight's billiard room, what was here? What can you remember? What was it used for?
The jukebox was there.
Okay.
Really big snooker table was here. And there'd be chairs around.
When you say chairs, were they like easy chairs, or were they similar chairs to that? That bench seat in the corner?
I wouldn't say there was big easy chairs. There was probably similar to that little hub, but a lot of the students like to sit on that little hub there. And there was discos in here. A lot of them played snooker, and we used to have little shows in here. Then at the time, we wouldn't probably do it now, but it had little puppet shows, and we all used to sit down cross-legged here, and the teachers used to put on little shows with the students. So it was quite crammed in, because we never had the Mackenzie building there, so we had to make use of this ground.
Can you remember the snooker table coming out and them putting a small pool table in then?
It was always a snooker table when I was here.
Yeah. Oh, that's fine then.
Yeah.
Right, we're now entering what was Slight's drawing room. So you can see it's got a little bit more of a feminine touch about it now. So what would you use this room for then, Alison?
This was a TV lounge.
Right.
The students had their own TVs in the room, but if they wanted to mix with the friends, we had a settee along the window.
The bay window.
A settee along here, the big TV there, CDs, and it was a lounge in the bout room. On a night I would get pizza in from the takeaway sometimes. We'd all sit and have, like a Saturday night or something, and have some pizza and watch DVDs, listen to music. It's just a chill down room, like a lounge.
This we're hoping that we can save these paintings. Did you know anything about this? Anybody told you about these?
No.
We've had it that they took something like 18 months to do, and 2 or 3 people have said it was an Italian artist that did it. Somebody else has told us that it's the Dutch people that have done it, a Dutch person. Hand painted, did it free as long as Slight kept champagne flowing from him, and that was it. So quite unique, really.
Very grand.
Right, we'll go out to this room then. We'll go into the lobby. So this is obviously the grand entrance for Slights. Can you remember anything in the lobby on that wall at all, Alison? Can you remember?
The picture was still here. This was the main entrance for when the students came in from the Mackenzie building when that was built as well. Visitors had come in here and we had a signing in and signing out book there. And this was the hub of everything here. Where they came from home for the 6 weeks being here, all the suitcases used to come in. It was just a hub of everything. Really busy area for students and staff because was going for access to each room. So that was more their private area. This was the hub here.
Yeah.
Most of the activity was around here and in this office there because they needed to find information and they was getting buses to go to the houses with the house parents. So it was chaotic but in a nice way. Always busy, apart from on a Sunday. And it was calm.
Have you heard anything about from Slight stories, you know, where people pass down about Slight did this, Slight did that?
No, only about the tower, that's all, and the servants' quarters.
What about the tower? What was that?
Through the grapevine, I was told that the Master Slate or Mr. Slate used to stand up there to watch his fishing fleets come through. Not sure if he was able to see that far, but that's what. I've been up once to the tower.
So this was Slight's dining room. Can you tell us what it was used for linkage days? What would you?
When I first worked here, it was used for the computer room for classroom work. So you used to have the computers round here, and then on an evening, when the Mackenzie building was built, the students could have had access, because they had their own computer room there then, of computers if they wanted to go on it here. There was a craft table there where
in the bay window then.
In the bay window where a lady used to like painting pebbles that she'd collect off the beach and they'd sit and chill and do the craft work, and the others would just go on the computers to the mates as they did then, you know, but you had to have like proper access so they knew what was
yeah.
on there. But
okay. So we're now on the galleried landing. Did you use anything up here or?
Yeah, the laundry room, which I found a bit spooky as well. There was a big laundry area where they stored suitcases, spare bedding, quilts, things like that. And I think predominantly there was bedrooms around here and bathrooms, but it goes through to another side of the building, doesn't it? There's a door, I think, with. It's not just here, you've got another section of the building. Yeah,
it's like U-shape, and then the corridor you was talking about, I'll show you in a minute, it's the linen corridor that links that side and that
side. Yeah.
And I'm assuming the servants would have come up their rear staircase, gone through there without having to come onto the landing bit.
Yeah.
That's what I'm assuming.
But I know, I was told there was servants' quarters up here.
Well, that would be interesting to know, because we haven't determined. I'll show you, but you can see how these are the grand ones here. Then we get less and less, but we don't know whether they were the children's ones or servants, because we think there's probably about 11 bedrooms. So I can't imagine there was lots of servants living here. I presume some lived in town and would walk in. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
So. Just before you let the door go, I'll open.
This is where it's confusing with all the bedrooms. So it took me years to get used to where they all was.
See, I don't know what this room was. This is next to the tower, and it's an old room. And from what I can see, there was never a fireplace in here. So would students, it wouldn't have mattered to them because they'd have been heated with central heating, but was trying to think of what it would have been used for in Slice days. But you didn't call it the nursery or anything like that, did you?
No, it was a bedroom.
Yeah.
At the time, I don't know if it was a mezzanine, I don't think it was big enough. When I was here, it was a single bedroom for one person.
And was that a member of staff or was that for a student?
No, there was no bedrooms for staff, it was for a student.
Right, okay then, yeah. Okay. So you can see this was the original door off here, and then they put this modern door in. So this will probably be blocked up again.
Just changing the subject, I've got the memory in my head. The medication room downstairs also had a nurse in there.
Oh, I see.
Many years ago, we used to have a nurse on site.
Yes.
That sorted all the ordering of the medication, things like that.
Yeah.
And then she moved to the Mackenzie building in her own office, and then funding, couldn't have a nurse.
Well, that must have been quite reassuring having a nurse on duty.
Yeah.
That's locked. But this one, because just to explain that that door wasn't there, so you came in off here, that door wasn't there, so that wall went right the way across there, this bedroom, and right the way down to here. So we're now, I've been told this was a daughter's bedroom, or one of the daughters. So you can imagine that it was, that wall is artificial, that's all artificial, so this will be made into one big room again now.
This was a double bedroom. 2 singles, I think. It was 2 singles. See, nowadays you have ensuite, don't you? You wouldn't have had them big bathrooms.
Yes.
I think. I'm sure there was a bed there. Would have put a bed there. I'm not sure. I don't know if there was 1 or 2 beds in this one. Because some of these, without the mezzanine on, still had 2 beds in.
Right, yes.
Even though they had the mezzanine, I think they sometimes doubled up with 2.
Ah, yeah, that would seem feasible.
Yeah. So this was what the girls' room, one of the daughters' rooms.
We were told that by somebody on the tour, and they said it was one of Sly's daughter's rooms. If we go straight through there, Steve, because that will, it'll just let some light in here then. That's it. So we're now going into modern corridor off here. So this was originally the door in off the landing, and we come in here, and the bedroom was from there to here. So these modern doors weren't in, and it went from there to the window.
Right.
So it was one big bedroom again. So
God, nothing's changed. Nothing. This could have been 2 bedrooms because of the 2 taps.
Ah, right, yes.
2 single beds, and then eventually it would change to 1 student coming in. Depending on how the funding went, because it'd be up and down from the council.
One of the nicest things about it is that a lot of the fireplaces are still in situ.
Yeah.
And some of the hearths are when you lift the carpet up.
Yeah.
So there's a small section next door there, which it was originally part of this bedroom.
It was a warm building now to work in, it wasn't cold.
Yeah. Yeah, you can see that it should have been.
So this is quite a small room, this one, isn't it?
It's used, yeah.
But you can see how, when you look at the top of the bay window, how water would pool on there, and then if it didn't drain down, the drains weren't kept clear. That's what caused the problems in the billiard room and the dining room, you see.
Yeah.
So we're going to a modern door now. And this takes us to the servants' back staircase.
What's in their toilets?
No, we'll go through there in a second. But this one is like a toilet shower in there on the landing, and then this leads up to the attic.
Yeah.
So here, did you just use this regularly? Students didn't use it, or what?
The staff use this toilet.
Right, okay then.
Are we going down these stairs? Or
well, you can, but I was going to, rather than you go back down, I'm going to show you the rest upstairs first, then we can come back. So, you didn't go into the loft by any chance, did you? Into the attic?
No.
No.
I never went in there, no.
No.
But I didn't like this area either. For some reason.
Yeah, doesn't feel right.
Just didn't feel right, but it's predominantly staff that.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to go through here now then. So if you just look at straight opposite Allison.
Oh. This is what I'm
That's your linen corridor. There's no light, unfortunately.
And that takes you through to the other side, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. So it looks like that was used as a store and this was a linen cupboard.
I hate it. I won't come up here.
You didn't like this?
Anne did the cleaning up here. We agreed, and I did the cleaning downstairs on the night time. She was happy to do that. No.
You can see it in your face.
Yeah.
Yeah. So is it?
I'd have to come up if the students needed me, but they just never did on a night. They was just wanted to go to sleep.
Yeah,
but we Anne used to walk through here to do.
Is it because you can feel like a presence in there?
Yeah. And I'm not a type of person that's really into anything like that, by the way. I'm not.
No,
you know what I mean? No. Not at all.
Not particularly sensitive.
I'm not particularly into anything like that or sensitive or anything like that, but it popped my ears on my back of my neck. Don't know why.
Well, it's all part
of
it.
The history.
Yeah.
I'm far from into ghost watching. Toilets. Yeah.
You see, we're
I
not
think
sure.
these are the female. Yeah, what were the slides we use this for then?
There's, when you look at the room, the original room, which is the clue is in the skirtings and the coving, and the coving goes right the way through. Yeah. So this room, all these doors have been put in. I was told this was a female bathroom. But it may have been a bedroom at one time. When you look at the coving, it's quite ornate, so it's unlikely to have been the servant's bedroom. So it could have been one of the boys or one of the girls.
How many children did they have?
Well, he had 9 at one point, but that was maximum. But you see, one died when she was 18, the other died when she was 16. So how many actually lived at the same time in the hall, we don't know.
And who was the person who had the learning difficulties related to in Bellamy's cottage?
Do you mean a relative of Slide?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've asked this to one of the several people. Some people say yes, they did have. Others go, no, I don't know anything about that. So we don't know. Bellamy's cottage had. Can you remember the gardener that was there? It was George Bellamy, and then when he retired or he moved out to his daughters, his son took over, and it was Norman Bellamy, and he used to look after the gardens. And was it yourself that said that he got donkeys alongside? Yeah. So. At that time then, he was living in that cottage, or did he move out?
He might not have had the donkeys, but when Bellamy's cottage, when Caister Institution, as they called it then, there used to be people in that just only had anorexia and things like that, where it was classed now, you'd help then, was put away. Some of them, when they shut these institutions down, went to Bellamy's cottage, but I was told there was a relative that they built Bellamy's cottage for, perhaps not built, but there was a relative placed there, and then when the institution shut down, I think it could only house 4 people in there though, and they lived there till 10 years ago, most of them, till the dying age.
Right, okay.
There's a shower here, I think.
Yes. So now when you look, the coving's less ornate here. Yeah. So you think, are we still in the son's bedroom area, the daughters, or are we in servants' areas?
Don't know what it'd be used for. It was used as a bed up there, I do know. Original chair.
Yes.
Original chair. Cute though, isn't it? For all them years ago, it was planned out, even if that was there all them years ago. And it was a modern thing put on.
No, these are put in by linkage.
Ah, right.
So,
yeah, I thought it's a bit modern for...
and then when you look, there isn't a servant's call point here. As some of the fireplaces do have. So that makes me wonder if there's a children's bedroom, so they're not pressing it all the time. But it's quite a nice aspect because you're overlooking the drive, so all your visitors, slight visitors, would have come down here.
With the horses, wouldn't there, as well, from the stables?
Yeah. Come here, dropped off people at the front door, and then taking it back round to the stables.
Yeah.
So...
very grand. But there's rumour again that one of the rooms, I think it was just a rumour, slates, I don't know why, dogs was kept in it, because apparently somebody saw dogs. I don't know why they want to keep dogs in a room upstairs, like all the place. I think that was just in a bit of a silly...
Well, it may be that, but it may be that he had them as pets, no pet dogs, and in our house we have a dog sleeping on the bed or in the kitchen.
It was the pet dogs, I was told. It wasn't any guard dogs or groundkeepers' dogs, it was their pet dogs.
Right, yeah. And so they'd keep them in the house and they'd be upstairs towards this back end, do you think?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now we've got another bedroom.
Oh, isn't it lovely?
So we think that there was a fireplace here originally, and that's now up in the loft. So it's quite ornate again, the coving, if this was servants.
But surely they'd house some servants here to be on tap for him, if you know what I mean.
Well, we know for a fact that there was a governess here, so she would have slept next to, well, you would imagine next to the nursery.
Yeah.
So where that was, we're not sure.
You know, like when they're cooking, perhaps they did go back to their own houses and stuff, but I'd have thought a big place like this, you'd have some servants to be waiting on a little bit, where there was. But I heard the servants' quarters was upstairs. But
especially in the era that this place was built, 1890.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It was all Victorian.
And we know when he died in 1921, he had at least 3 maids, because they mentioned the floral tributes for his funeral. And we know that they had, I think, possibly up to 4 gardeners he recommended that he had. But then I think there was a state carpenter and things. So although there's the head gardener's cottage, which was Bellamy's cottage, it could be then that the other 3 came in off the estate. But we've got... Can you remember the gate lodge and what that was used for?
Was it the groundkeeper or something? I know there was somebody who lived in that lodge because it was used as a living quarter, wasn't it?
Yes.
I can't remember. It must be now, but I know that was somebody who lived in there because we used that as well as what did we go in that lodge for? I think probably it's just some storage.
Right. Yeah.
But we had access to the lodge, but not often.
Okay. We go through the door in front of this thing, and then we'll turn right. Remember where these were, by the way? We brought those down from the loft.
No, never seen them before.
No, they probably were in the loft in your days. Okay.
Beautiful, aren't they?
Yes. Got problems again with damp coming through. So that's the other side of your linen cupboard and store.
That's the other side. Is that the other side of it?
Yeah, so the maids could have come through.
Yeah.
If it was used as a linen cupboard in those days, which I'm assuming it was, they could have walked through here and they weren't disturbing the family on the gallery, you see, straight from the servants' staircase. Now, these 2 doors will be bedrooms, but unfortunately they're locked to them. Yeah, can't get into them. So that's 9 and 10. Down here, though,
Is it the same bathroom went through? Or this might be the lad's bathroom. This was the boys' one, I think.
right, so we're now down the bottom end, down at the Let me think on
I've got a funny feeling someone said it was this back end that it was servant quarters. I don't know.
See, it would seem feasible if I can just show you in here. That's a strong thing on that.
Rumour was that it was this back end that servants' quarters.
So that's the original ceiling by the looks of it, but there's only a tiny cove in there. So that could well be that this was the servants' area. I mean, you can see this is slightly larger cove in here because that wall wasn't there. I've been told I think this was a bathroom from Slight's days. So whether this was used by the children and any staff that lived at the back here, I don't know. But of course, after Slight's moved out about 1963-64, for 10 years then, a family lived in here, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, and they lived here because their daughter-in-law lived in the new house that Parks built after they demolished the old hall, you see. So I think that was something like 1964 to 1974.
Was he a fisherman then, Slide?
Yes, he was a trawlerman. He had the world's largest private fishing fleet, and he was
the world's largest.
Yes, yeah, because he owned all of them. There's a lot of them owned by companies, multiple partnerships and things like that. His was purely his own.
So who was the Smith family then?
Who was the what?
Who was the Smiths?
The Smiths were also something related to them, but to the fishing area. But from what I understand, they were over on the North Bank, and they decided to come from Yorkshire to live here. And I think that's because their grandchildren and daughter was living next door. So we had it that from one of the boys, he said that when they was little, if Mr. and Mrs. Smith here, their grandma and granddad was babysitting, he said we'd have our pyjamas on and we'd run through the woods to come in here, you see. So...
Good childhood, eh?
I'm going to go straight on to... I'll just show you this. This is a modern door at the end, but it leads into this one. Oh, I'll show you this one first. This one here is... What would you say this was used for?
A bedroom.
Right. Now, did any staff sleep in, or were you on working nights and you just... Yeah.
It was working nights, no staff ever slept in.
Right.
There was one year though, when the snow, there was blizzards, when it was the cold snap. You probably weren't living around here then, Steve. And staff couldn't get home, and staff lived in for 3 days. So they might have slept on the settee because they'd been working in the daytime, but they couldn't get home. So I was asked if they could sleep in, even at the houses, because you just couldn't get anywhere. The students didn't go home because they couldn't get access to the roads. So the staff did sleep in them, but only on the settees.
Yes.
There'd only been about 2 or 3 staff.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
We wondered if, when you look at the cove, and it's quite plain in here. So I wonder if this was definitely a servant's room, you know, with something along that kind of lines. I mean, the thing that throws me though is there's a servant's call point. So you think, why would that happen? Now we know there was a housekeeper here called Ellen Stevenson, I think her name was. So, but at that time, her relatives told us she was living in the lodge. So, but we've had grooms living in the lodge. We think there's been gamekeepers living in the lodge.
I've not thought she'd live in the lodge. I'd have thought it'd be the groom or the gamekeepers that lived in there.
Yeah.
They would have...
Well, I was surprised at that, but this is the lady's granddaughter.
Oh, right.
So, you know, she's told us that she used to come, or her mother used to come to the lodge to see her mother, you see.
Oh, right. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we've only just uncovered that fireplace. Hence, it's not very clean, but yeah, it's lovely.
I tell you, it's amazing just how well preserved it is for the age.
We've got
I say well preserved, really, for the age.
Yeah, it is, and considering how much use it's had.
Yeah.
So, if you can imagine, this isn't. We're now moving into what we think was Slight's master bedroom. So all these walls are coming out. So this was, I just opened that, let some more light in.
Imagine how many students was history looking after.
So we think Slight's bedroom went from that wall to here, and then it went from that where we just come in to over there, you see. So it's a big bedroom. So all these will be coming out, all the panels. You can see the kind of wall studs up there that were used to hang in pictures. Slight would have had like family photographs and paintings and things hanging from there.
So where will the sensory room being put? The sensory room, where? It's
going to go downstairs, and that's going to be in. Hang on, wait a minute. Where they were sewing in there, in that old dining room. That's going to be the sensory room.
Because they did used to have a sensory room, where the stable block is.
Right.
They had one there as well.
I see.
Yeah.
If you look on there, you can see these. Did you mention Anne the Cleaner?
Yes.
Because Anne the Cleaner was the one that gave me my first tour round.
Was it?
Yeah. So.
Yeah, there's two Annes. There's Anne the Cleaner, and who cleaned all this. She'll know a lot of the history. But Anne was a house parent that worked with me. So there's two Annes. But I know you mean who Anne the Cleaner.
Well, it was Anne that was saying those cherubs that we've got on the landing, they match these. So we wonder if the cherubs stood either side here, because there's a bracket to hold them up, and then they may have had aspidistra plants on or something like that.
But Anne knew the building as a cleaner inside out.
Well, she could remember a big walnut wardrobe being in here. It was mahogany, I think she said. So that used to be built in there. So, yeah.
We've got another bell here.
Yes, well that would have been ideal, wouldn't it, for Slight if it was his bedroom? We'd have just summoned the maid.
Yeah.
So.
Was this part of his bedroom?
Yeah. It goes to that wall there.
Yeah.
So that hole is modern, but this is solid wall.
Yeah.
That's a solid wall, right the way along there, right the way to there. You see.
Yeah.
I think this door on the right might be.
Yes.
Yeah, but this one here might be open. If you just try it, I think it is shut then. No, it's shut. So we had another bedroom that he came from here, and that wall there, and it went to that corner and to here. So really, it's similar to that size bedroom that the daughter had in that corner. And there's a fireplace in here, but it's not an amazing fireplace. So we know for a fact that these were bedrooms because there's still got bits of beds and things in. So this would have been used by the students. So we're back onto the landing then, really. How are you feeling, Alison, to walk to the air raid shelter and the stables?
I'd love to, that'd be fine, thank you.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
So we're back by the Oasis Hub again, and this was used as horticultural up until a few months ago. It was their office. What we're going to do is use it, I think, back as horticultural, but also the volunteers are going to use it, so we'll have somewhere where we can just store files or whatever. So that's what it's going to be used for.
I've waited 10 years for this.
Can you remember any cage or any structure on the back of this?
No, it was just them freestanding buildings where the accountants, because it was too small a room in there, so the accountant was there and it was very, very busy. There was people back and forth, so because it had to be signed off in there, and that was the smoke shelter.
Yeah, smoke shelter's still here. It's down here, the smoke shelter.
Actually, no, that wasn't the smoke shelter, it was there.
Yeah.
I think Alan Michael used to put all his bits and bobs in there.
Right. Well, we managed to track him down. He came the other week, which was very fortunate. So that was your smoke shelter, wasn't it?
Imagine on night time out here having a fag. But when the gates weren't working, Dave, at one point the staff had to come out on their own on a night time to undo the gates if there was on call coming in and out. And it was a bit of a trip hazard, I'll tell you.
Yes.
Is this the bunker?
Yes.
I want imagining things anyway.
So you never went in the...
I went in, but only so far until I got caught.
Can you remember where the entrance was then? I mean, it's lengthwise, it runs that way. And we think there's 2 sections to it.
God, does it go as far back as there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I went a fair bit in.
That wall there, we think this was one section and that was maybe the other section.
Yeah. I remember going... I didn't just get to the front, I went in it.
Right.
Only like 2 metres or so.
Yeah.
I didn't go any further anyway because I was only young, and then the groundsman shooted me off. Well, not shot me off, told me to clear off.
So
I think I went in that way.
That would seem to... Don remembers there being an entrance there, because we thought it might have been here where this ramp is, but no, Don said it was on that corner there. Or
it was there. Yeah. And it was all like... I can't remember inside, but yeah.
So can you remember in the cellar a small door and leading to a tunnel?
I never went down there, but I believe there was one there.
Right.
So that might have been attached to that, would it?
That's what we're wondering. We need to confirm it.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
We had a plumber when they started doing it out for linkage, this apprentice plumber, and he said that they uncovered the staircase, went down these few steps into the cellar, and then he said there was a tunnel. It was a small one, and he said I went down the tunnel with his lead lamp, but he run out of lead lamp halfway down, so we can't confirm it comes to here. But it does seem logical.
30 metres.
It's what so.
How long was a lead lamp? Was it about 30 metres?
Yeah, I don't know. He didn't say that. I mean, he was only apprentices.
Yeah.
So he says, he said he went down.
There's a story going that it went into the...
That's what we're wondering. It would seem logical. I mean, we don't know whether it's Second World War, First World War.
Yeah.
If it was First World War, it would have been George Schleight himself. If it was Second World War, it would have been his son that put it in. But when you consider the Second World War, they had the hall bombed, and we've got a small statement from a young lad. His grandfather, I think, was the groundsman, groom or something, and he was living in the lodge. He lived in the chauffeur's bungalow, which I'll show you in a minute. And then his granddad brought him out the air raid shelter to see the hall was on fire. And that's all we've got, you see.
I heard there was a fire.
Yeah, well, that was in the old hall next door.
Yeah,
yes.
Definitely, yeah.
So we'd like to uncover it, but of course that's once you uncover it, you've then got hazard for students and things, so it's got to be where you can put a lockable gate in. But they did try and set fire to it.
Is there any way they can X-ray through there?
And they get what, sorry, Steve?
X-ray through there, because of all the way that's been built is because of the land protecting it.
Yes.
Yeah. So if there is any bombs, you've got all this. It's like sandbags.
Blast damage, isn't it? So
blast damage.
Yeah.
So having an entrance here kind of puts you at risk. I would say there isn't one. There's probably an exit, but the main access to that, realistically, would have been underground. Then you're not.
Oh yeah, you're going underground to get, and that'd be your exit.
But I think there were two compartments, so we wonder if one was used by the family and one was used by the staff.
Yeah.
So if that was the case, maybe if he's got his family, or say the gardener, he's got his family there and everything, they would want to run into here as well, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
If it was used by the staff.
Yeah.
And there were only small bedrooms. The lodge, I think, was a 2-bedroom. Bellamy's Cottage was only 2-bedroom. But we'll have a look at the stables.
You enjoyed it, Steve?
Yeah.
It's wonderful to work here.
It's so hidden from Willesby Road.
Yeah.
Right, I remember now, Dave, this was used for meetings.
Right, so we're looking at the gate lodge now then. It's now used as office for the maintenance people. Yeah. But so you'd have meetings in here then?
Only quick meetings, yeah, and sometimes, I don't know if it was here or over there, they have the speech and language classrooms.
Were these ever used for sleeping accommodation by anybody?
Not by staff or students.
No.
No.
Right, okay then.
But they used to have sometimes a man that works with an Alsatian for security now and again. He might have used it.
Ah, right, yes, yeah.
Yeah, that's when I was working here, on a night time.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it has been extended. This corner here and that corner there weren't part of the original lodge. It was just that there and this hip coming out. So it has been extended at some point or other.
Yeah.
So we'll go through here. This is where I was going to meet you see. So. Now this is a stable block area, but for the changes, to make it sustainable, what they're going to do is extend it at the back, which I'll show you. But this is going to be more for those with more intense needs, students. Right. So it'll come back to being residential again. So if we come to the right here, on one of the census it says about a chauffeur's bungalow. And the only thing I can think was this. But this section here, because it's like a quadrangle, so do you know what this was used for?
Right, the students use this as the main gate coming in and out.
That's off Willesby Road then, yeah.
Because it's off the driveway. You shouldn't even been going on that part. This was used as a classroom. Now, I don't know if it was a speech. No, I know what it was. It was a psychiatrist's office.
Right.
And it was, I can't remember his name. He went on site every day because they're busy out there. This was a psychiatrist's office, not Don's.
Right.
Don's could have been on this side, so there was into cahoots with each other.
Rex Richardson, was it?
Rex had an office as well, and that was round there, I believe.
Right, okay.
Or was it in the Orangery? No, it went into the... Eventually, it went into the Orangery as an office.
And the Orangery was built at the same time as the Mackenzie building, is that right?
I don't know.
Right, okay.
No, that's the Orangery there. There's another little building next to the greenhouse here.
Yeah, that's the Orangery.
Yeah.
Yes.
Rex's offices was in there.
Right, okay then.
Yeah.
So I'll just show you briefly.
These all offices.
This is just there's just windows there that back onto the accommodation. When they do the building work, they're going to turn this into independent suites. So they'll have a garden here, they'll have doors onto there. But if we go back into the stable yard, so you can see now how this was possibly a bungalow, went from there and I don't know how far along here, probably only 2 bedrooms again, and then when it was Slights days, I don't know what these other rooms were used for.
Where would the stables have been?
Well, we think the stables are in there, which you can see from the other side in a minute, and you can see we think the horses came in there. Now this bit, this grey bit, has been extended on, but do you know if Linkage put that on? Or
Can't remember.
no. So what did you come down here for then, Alison?
These were classrooms. There predominantly was psychiatrists and psychologists. Don, can't remember the psychiatrist's name. because the psychiatrist, he can prescribe medication, whereas Don couldn't. So he was more on the medicine side as well, the psychiatrist. Don was more of the therapy side.
Yes.
So that was a difference between it. We had sign language room in one of these, but they changed a lot from. We had an art room as well. Now, when that building across the road, Willsby View they called it, the big house on the corner, that was used for very, very autistic, challenging behaviour, young men, very challenging. But we eventually managed to get them across here, to get them out of the house, to go into the art room. And we also, I think it was down here, had the therapy room. These, just trying to get everything together. The sensory room.
Yes.
And they had massages, which they really enjoyed. Listen to music. They had a sheepskin rug where they could lay on, and sensory things. It was all painted out in Greenland and forests.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
because my friend worked in there, yeah.
You might better tell me which room it was in a minute then.
Back of there. I know I'm talking quick, but it's the memories, you know what I mean, in case I forget.
Can you ever remember these being used for residential purposes then? No, purely classrooms. So there is one room, the lights off now.
This was it.
So this was a sensory room.
Yeah.
Right, this is label number 4, it's next to the toilets then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, we've got chickens now. Hi, Jonathan, you alright? Hi, Jonathan, you
Hi,
alright?
how are you? Yeah, good.
Just doing a little tour.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Alright.
Tour to have a look round how he's getting on. Yeah.
Long time no see.
Part of the
that's not a bad
research
thing.
for the volunteers, just to get people's histories. And
Oh,
so,
okay.
you know, what Alex can remember now will be different to what someone knew 5 years ago, sort of thing. So.
Yeah, well, a lot's changed, hasn't it?
Looks like it, yeah.
20 years. 21 years with me now.
You'll be here forever, Jonathan.
Oh, well, I'm close to retiring, so
Exactly.
yeah.
So,
Yeah, so I'll be sort of, you know, maybe doing it a little bit early. Wait out.
What can you remember this building being used for then, Allsion?
what was that for, John? Was it speech and language?
Well, it's multiple uses.
It was, wasn't it?
When I first came, obviously that wall there had a hole knocked through it. It was 2 separate classrooms. One side was English.
Yeah.
It was Jeanette Gathercole.
Yeah.
Used to teach English in there, and that was about 2003, 2004.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And on the other side of that was bike maintenance. So bicycle maintenance. And obviously the original entrance to the English room was there, and then the entrance to the bicycle maintenance was around, which is now the ramp emergency exit going around that way.
By the way, just let you know you're being recorded. Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah. So that was, and then obviously it had a few other purposes after that. But the hole in the walls you see there, and the doorway on the other side, because that was a solid wall at some point, and it was then opened up to facilitate the small animal care. So
Right. Yeah.
prior to that, there'd be 2 separate classrooms.
They used to change them about, didn't they?
They changed. They always seem to change, quite often it depends on the cohort, on the numbers of students. If one particular subject is more popular, then they obviously have to use a bigger classroom, and then as a consequence, everything else gets displaced. So you're moving in one. It's sort of like, you know, you all sort of take a step round. You know, I mean, the classrooms down the side there, they've been used for, and the classroom that we're using the small animal care now, it was the speech and language therapy, and that was actual speech and language therapy classes. So they would attend a speech and language lesson for the big group of them, rather than
on an individualistic basis now. They do one-to-one, but they would go in there in a group setting. This end office here, that was the maintenance, the groundsman's office for as long as I can remember, until obviously he moved out over to the lodge. And prior to it being, in between it being a sports, speech and language therapy, it was employability office.
Oh, right.
So it's been changed over a number of years, but yeah, and that's always been the sensory room. It's the sensory bus storeroom now.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Hello.
You know, so yeah.
Because this was told, I mean, you can see the new brickwork here, but this is a garage for slides.
Well, yeah, I can imagine at some point prior to being, you know, in the 19th century, prior to the invention of cars, quite a deal of this used to be stables. So, you know, somewhere to put your horses and carriage, you know. But as far as access is concerned, I'm not sure. But it would probably be in the main courtyard where the horses were kept. So.
Yeah, and then I think these were the stable bits here and facing that way out.
Yeah, and this would have gone straight through here. Obviously, that's. Do you know about that? Because
that's a modern link, isn't it?
Yeah, that link's completely modern. So that path would have gone straight down the centre there, and on the other side of that, in that little piece of grass there is a hard standing. What looks like something's been bolted on the ground. So I'm wondering whether it was a statue or a fountain or something like that.
Right.
That was. I don't know if there's any photographs exist of it. You know, but obviously this was a pathway to that part of the front of the property. So. Yeah.
Well, when you look at the maps, this was here, but this isn't shown as being here, and so we would imagine that was built maybe in the 1920s, 30s when the cars came.
They managed to source the same brick, which is a bit strange, because although you see the pointing on this brick was obviously a lot finer, isn't it? I mean that is about as slender as you could possibly get for a layer of mortar between two bricks. Yeah. That's slightly wider, so I'm assuming it probably could have been later on, probably 20, 30 years after that.
Yeah. Right, well, we'll go around here. Well,
see you,
Jonathan.
Very much.
Yeah,
take care.
That.
Bye.
We're going to extend that up to here, and that so this will then become that high dependency unit for them. So we think these were the entrances to the stables.
Yeah.
Brought the horses round here.
The doors and stuff.
So and these were always classrooms, you say, that these?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you recall anything that in the grounds, you know, what sort of wildlife you saw, birds and things?
I never really saw any foxes much, I don't know why. There was squirrels and lots of birds. I don't know what types of birds because I'm not very clued up on nature. There might have been badgers, I never saw any. I tended not to come out in the dark much, so...
And is there anything else that, you know, we may have missed that you can remember? Any other stories or?
No, that's like I say, I was not just in this building. I've worked for the company for 14 years. So, but this was the main historic building. So yeah, lots of good memories.
And did you work in some of the older buildings that they had in the town that were used for accommodation for the students?
Yeah, I worked at Helen Road, I worked at Ferriby Lane at Scaffo, and I was just based at them two really before I came here. And then the funding went down at that time. There was a bit of a crisis, so a lot of the management got made redundant amongst other staff, but a lot of it was management.
Right.
Because a lot of the time it was based on funding.
Yes.
But I didn't really understand that type of side of it. Well, thank you for that, Dave. It was really interesting.
Well, I appreciate you coming.
Yeah.
And it's...
That was Rex's office.
In the Orangery?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. It's been nicely built, but it's only a modern building, or relatively modern, but they've done it in keeping with the hall, haven't they?
Yeah.
So, hello. So you was never involved with the horticulture then?
No, I'm not very green-fingered. I don't have a clue what I was doing. No, I wasn't on that side of it. I was more of the cookery side of things, and road safety skills and shopping skills.
Yeah.
That side of things.